Welcome, brilliant military debaters. Today, we have another compelling topic to discuss. The war in Ukraine has raged on for over 2 years, yet Ukraine has secured impressive victories against a formidable adversary. Despite relentless Russian missile and drone attacks in early 2024, Ukraine's resolve has only grown stronger. Rather than faltering, Ukraine has turned the tide, showing remarkable resilience and strategy. So, how has Ukraine managed to defy the odds? And can this momentum lead to ultimate victory? Stay tuned as we explore these questions and uncover the key factors behind Ukraine's recent successes. Let's briefly revisit the key moments from 2023. Ukrainian forces are fighting back as hard as ever, preventing Russia from establishing a permanent presence, thanks in part to U.S. military aid that has begun to turn the war around. Russia also contributed to Ukraine's achievement. The country Ukraine is battling has unintentionally helped it lose. Let's examine how each of these elements has played out on the battlefield and what they indicate for the conflict's future. Ukraine has succeeded due to its resilience and strategic brilliance. These fueled the victorious 2022 Ukrainian counteroffensive, which the country wants to repeat in 2024. Let's briefly review 2023's major moments to comprehend Ukraine's counteroffensive. The Ukrainian 68th Jaeger Brigade and a few territorial defense battalions recaptured Blahodatny on June 11th, making it the third settlement liberated by Ukrainian forces during the counteroffensive. Ukrainian forces also retook Storozheva and Novodorivka in eastern Zaporizhia and western Donetsk, breaking Russia's first line of defense. Ukraine bombed the Crimea Bridge again on June 17th. The strike killed 2 persons when Marine-based drones destroyed a bridge section. The attack was significant for 2 reasons. A major strategic blow to Russia would be to disable or destroy the bridge that connects the seized Crimean Peninsula to mainland Russia and permits military supplies and reinforcements to transit. Second, this strike showed that Ukraine can breach Russia's defenses and that no Russian facility, no matter how vital, is untouchable. Ukraine raided Crimea's western coast on August 24th with an elite force. This was Ukraine's first official entry into the Crimean Peninsula since Russia illegally annexed it in 2014. The raid coincided with Ukraine's Independence Day. The squad landed near Olenivka, raised a Ukrainian flag, and returned home safely. Crimean Peninsula, Ukraine has demonstrated remarkable resilience and defiance in its fight against Russia, earning widespread support. On August 28th, Ukrainian forces breached heavily mined Russian lines in Zaporizhia with the help of NATO-supplied long-range artillery. Ukraine also launched its largest drone attack on Russian energy infrastructure, including the Lukoil North Sea refinery. On March 24th, Ukrainian forces struck 2 Russian warships and Black Sea Fleet facilities in Crimea, showcasing their ability to target critical military assets. Ukrainian Air Force Commander Mykola Oleshuk celebrated the attack, reinforcing Ukraine's claim to Crimea. Despite being primarily on the defensive in 2024, Ukraine has consistently disrupted Russia's plans through strategic victories, such as targeting the Novolipetsk steel plant and other key facilities. Ukrainian drones have continued hitting oil refineries, radar sites, and military airports, keeping pressure on Russia across multiple fronts. Ukraine's Kharkiv region. This area borders Kharkiv and has been attacked almost often since the invasion. Russia fortified the 600-mile front in this region for months before Ukraine targeted it in the summer of 2023. Belgorod's role as a Russian military logistical hub has led to recurrent attacks. Ukrainian gains are likely most significant in Kharkiv Oblast, a bordering region. Russia's massive Kharkiv drive has failed due to Ukraine's robust defense and Russia's incompetence. In May 2024, Russia intensified operations on Kharkiv Oblast as part of the summer offensive, forming a new northern front. At least 15 Russian S-300 long-range missiles targeted Kharkiv, Lobotin, and Zalkiv on May 23rd, killing 7 and devastating civilian infrastructure. According to Ukrainian military commentators Konstantin Mashevets and Alexander Kovalenko, 2,000 Russian troops were part of the initial offensive onslaught on Kharkiv. The report said 2,000 soldiers were in reserve and 4,000 were heading to Kharkiv. Russian soldiers took 9 villages in the first 2 days after the May strikes, due to their numbers and surprise. Why this region? Russia said Kharkiv Oblast was targeted to protect Russian towns near Belgorod that Ukrainian forces were attacking. Russia might create a buffer zone by taking Kharkiv, preventing Ukraine from winning more. However, Russia and President Vladimir Putin usually have a secret goal behind their military acts. Russia decided to build a new front in the north and draw Ukrainian reserves to defend it, allowing it to focus on Donetsk Oblast. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said the Kharkiv Oblast offensive stretched Ukrainian forces and weakened their morale and motivation to defend themselves. A feint attack. To be fair, this is a common military tactic called a feint attack, and it usually works to deflect enemy forces and resources from the main goal. Not this time. Russia has not attacked Kharkiv Oblast, which would require Ukraine to spend a lot of money to fight. Rupert Jones, a retired senior British Army officer, says Russia has barely gained momentum. By June 2024, Ukraine had stabilized the region and pushed out Russian soldiers, winning the war. Why did Russia's Kharkiv offensive fail? Most of the causes are internal, but some are external. From leadership to frontline soldiers, the Russian military is disorganized. Frequent shifts and poor decisions have weakened Russian military leadership. In Kharkiv and beyond, the Russian military's unified strategic implementation and operational effectiveness have suffered from poor command. Frontline soldiers lack training. This shortcoming has left them unprepared for urban combat and extended military operations, ensuring their destruction. It also doesn't help that Russia seems to like the meat grinder tactic, which entails throwing waves of poorly trained and ill-equipped soldiers into combat without regard for their lives. Thus, low morale is another important reason Russian forces have failed in Kharkiv. Their heart isn't in the fight. How could it be? As fatalities rise, motivation to fight wanes and extended engagement sets in, Russian resolve crumbles like sandcastles in the rain. Putin's plan for triumph involves modest advancements through constant offensive operations, so this is a serious issue for the country. Russia should be able to hold any area it gains, so this seems like a good idea. In reality, though, things are different. Ukraine is standing firm and rejecting Russian efforts at every turn. Western military aid. Ukraine's significant achievements in its war against Russia have heavily relied on Western military aid. Early 2024 saw setbacks for Ukraine as the U.S. Congress delayed a $61 billion aid package, weakening its defenses and allowing Russia to intensify its assaults. Relief came on April 24th, when President Biden approved a $95 billion war package, with $1 billion in immediate aid to bolster Ukraine's efforts. Delivering large-scale military aid faces logistical, strategic, and bureaucratic hurdles, making swift deployment challenging. Despite this, critical support arrived in mid-2024, including Hawk interceptor missiles, HIMARS ammunition, and 155mm howitzers, reducing Russia's artillery advantage from 7-1 to 5-1. A pivotal change came in May 2024, when Western nations permitted Ukraine to use their weapons offensively in Kharkiv, effectively countering Russian attacks. However, restrictions remain, limiting Ukraine's ability to strike deeper into Russian territory. These limits, driven by fears of escalation, prevent Ukraine from launching a full-scale counteroffensive akin to its 2023 success. As Ukraine presses for unrestricted military aid and broader permissions, Western support remains vital. Yet concerns arise over waning political backing, especially with global attention divided by the Middle East conflict. Preparation plan. Zelensky wants Ukraine to be well-stocked to avoid similar delays like the 2024 one that cost the country dearly. Air defense systems are Zelensky's main military aid request. He stated that the sooner the world helps us deal with the Russian combat aircraft releasing these bombs, the sooner we can strike justifiably at Russian military infrastructure and airfields, the closer we will be to peace. Ukraine needs these technologies to counter Russian reconnaissance drones, which report in real time and allow quick, catastrophic airstrikes. Ukraine could launch a counteroffensive in spring 2025 if these are in order. Due to its robust opposition, Ukraine isn't under Russian operational pressure in 2024, hence a tighter timeline isn't needed. Suppose Ukraine launches a huge counteroffensive in 2025 after a successful 2024 campaign. Will the country be able to turn the tide and win against Russia? It's doable, but several components must fit. Ukrainian forces will need constant and substantial Western military cooperation in weaponry, logistics, training, and intelligence. Ukraine must do everything in its ability to be in a better position than Russia to end the conflict. Rupert Jones says the dominator on the ground wins. Nobody believes Russia will simply submit at this time. Russia's move. Russia shows no signs of halting its aggression despite Ukraine's continued successes. A major reshuffle in Russia's leadership, with economist Andrei Belyasov replacing Sergei Shoigu as defense minister, signals a shift towards economic war readiness. Meanwhile, Russia continues its assaults, targeting civilians in Vilnyansk on June 29th and an air base in Poltava on July 2nd. Russia's defense strategy has evolved since Ukraine's 2023 counteroffensive, incorporating anti-tank ditches, zigzag trenches, dragon teeth, minefields, and steel hedgehogs to obstruct advances. Despite these measures, Ukraine remains resilient, backed by Western support and adapting tactics that outmaneuver Russia's outdated strategies. Russia's challenges include poorly trained, undisciplined troops, low morale, and leadership failures, leading to ineffective exploitation of opportunities. Ukraine's path to victory hinges on Western aid, innovative strategies, and Russia's strategic missteps. Can these factors tip the balance in Ukraine's favor and secure a decisive triumph? We'd love to hear your insights. Share your theories in the comments below. If you found this video thought-provoking, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analysis. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.